I thought we were just about to finish this alternative team series after Ultra Sun and Moon, but you guys have been reminding me and asking me about doing the alternate starters for Heartgold and Soulsilver for quite some time now. Honestly, I didn't even think about that. And hey, I gotta give the people what they want. So we're kicking things off for Heartgold and Soulsilver with none other than Feraligatr. Feraligatr is a pretty solid Pokemon, and is definitely the second best to use in the playthrough. And I believe the team that I put together with it in mind came out to be a really good one. Before we get into the whole team though, let me explain what a best team is for all the newcomers to the series. A best team is a team of 6 Pokemon that is designed for the absolute best performance for its set Pokemon game. The team usually revolves around a best starter, but since we are using alternate starters, this team will revolve around one of them instead, with this team focusing on Feraligatr of course. Each team member is designed to do well against all the gym leaders, Elite Four members, Champion, Rival, and the Evil Team leaders. When it comes to making their movesets, we'll be including TM moves, however we do not allow egg moves nor post-game tutor moves. So with all that out of the way, let's finally get into this Heartgold and Soulsilver alternate starter best team. So we've got to get started with the only thing that is a guarantee on this team, our starter Pokemon, Feraligatr. It is definitely the second best starter in the Johto region, and for some people, it's even better than Typhlosion. You start off with a Totodile, and it'll evolve into Croconaut at level 18, and finally Feraligatr at level 30. As you guys know, with all starter Pokemon, Feraligatr doesn't have a very impressive ability, so that isn't something you guys should probably worry about. However, it's got some decent stats, a base 105 attack and 100 defense. And with the physical special split that can be worked with in the 4th generation, you can get the most out of its fun attack stat. All in all, you've got a very solid starting Pokemon here, that is a beloved one, and it should be able to serve you well during a trip through Johto and Kanto. The moveset we've got on this best team for Feraligatr is Surf, Waterfall, Ice Fang, and Earthquake. That first move, Surf, is special, but since you need a Pokemon to have it anyway, I figured it wouldn't hurt that much to just leave it on Feraligatr. You get the HM for that in Necrotique City at the dance hall after beating a Rocket Grunt. The next move is another HM, that being Waterfall, and this one is a nice physical move that should hit a bit harder than Surf on a Pokemon like this. You'll get it in the Ice Path right before you reach Blackthorn, and don't worry, you'll obviously have a few Water-type moves you can use before getting either of those. The next move is Ice Fang. Ice Fang can be learned as a Croconaut at level 21. Ice Fang offers that nice ice coverage every water Pokemon should have. It's also, in my opinion, the best ice-type option Feraligatr gets without the usage of egg moves in Heartgold and Soulsilver. So for this challenge, we're looking at all the leaders in Johto and Kanto, the Elite Four's first go-around, the Champion's first challenge, the Battle of Silver before your initial Elite Four challenge, the final battle with Archer, and finally, the battle against Red on Mount Silver. So with the moves we've got, Feraligatr can do well against Jasmine Steelix, Price's Piloswine, Claire's duo of Dragonair, Brock's entire team, Lieutenant Surge's entire team but watch out, Erica's entire team but still watch out, Janine's Crobat, Blaine's entire team, Blue's Rhydon, Executor, Arcanine, and Pidgeot, Archer's Houndour and Houndoom, Silver's Golbat, Magnemite, and Meganium, Will's Executor and duo of Xatu, Koga's Muck and Crobat, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Vileplume, Murkrow, and Houndoom, Lance's entire team except Gyarados, and finally Red's Venusaur and Charizard. So yeah, Feraligatr. It's got a lot of usage in battle, especially from the Elite Four and onward. It's a great starter that'll get tons of mileage. Next up on this team, we've got ourselves a favorite of mine for some best teams, and making its first appearance for one in Heartgold and Soulsilver is Crobat. I've shunned away from Crobat before, and back in the last Heartgold and Soulsilver team, I went with Fearow due to a dislike of Crobat's physical flying type options. But I think I've changed my mind on that. Fly is of course a fine move just to have on it, but there are some options that are good enough which will make Crobat worth featuring over Fearow. Perhaps the most important thing to bring up here is just that Crobat is definitely a better Pokemon. It has base 130 speed, which is hard at the top, and 90 base attack. At the end of the day, Crobat is just going to work as a top option this time. Oh, and you'll be able to get your hands on a Zubat in the Dark Cave, by the way. Just to point that out. It's incredibly early. Alright, the moveset we've got out for Crobat here is Fly, Aerial Ace, Cross Poison, and U-Turn. Fly is of course an HM gotten in Cianwood City, and is important to help get around the region, as well as offer a physical flying type move to use for a while. Aerial Ace is next, and that's gotten once you're in Kanto, where the TM can be either acquired from Mount Mortar, or back in Johto at the Battle Frontier. Cross Poison needs to be heart scaled back on in Blackthorn, and a heart scale can be found scattered around the region in many different ways. Finally, we have U-Turn, which you get for defeating Bugsy early on in the game. This moveset is definitely a bit more varied, I feel, and offers a bit more than what Fearow would. which is why I was more into using Crobat this time around. Now with these moves, Crobat will be able to do well against Bugsy's entire team, Chuck's entire team, Misty Starmie, Erica's entire team, Janine's duo of Ariados and Venomoth, Sabrina's entire team, but I wouldn't do that, Blue's Exeggutor and Machamp, Silver's Sneasel, Kadabra and Meganium, Will's Exeggutor, Slowbro and Jinx, Koga's Ariados and Venomoth, Brock's entire team except for Onix, Karen's Umbreon and Vileplume, and Red's Venusaur. Crobat is going to not just help you fly around the region at will, but its ability to move in and out of battle with U-turn and provide nice flying type damage will help out big time during your playthrough. So next in the team, we've got a Pokemon that has appeared on some best teams before, including the original Heartgold and Soulsilver best team, Heracross. It made a ton of sense to just pull Heracross back into the spotlight again for this best team, and run it out there one more time. It works out very well in Johto, with its bug and fighting type stab, and its interesting move pool can for sure be taken advantage of. So where are you going to have to go to get your hands on Heracross? Well, you'll need to headbutt trees in Azalea Town over and over, until finally Heracross pops out. It's a very time-consuming process, I will admit, but it'll be well worth it to have this powerful Pokemon on the team. It's got a great 125 base attack and a slew of moves that take advantage of it, as well as 85 speed that can keep it close in many battles. Let's take a look at the moves I picked out, and that's what it brings to the table. Brick Brick, Rock Slide, Mega Horn, and Night Slash are the moves that come together for Heracross here on this best team. Brick Brick is a favorite of mine, and it is learned via level up at level 19. Though I'll say right now that if you'd rather have close combat, that is completely fine, as it is learned at level 37. I just didn't want to risk the drop in defenses that come with close combat. Then we have Rock Slide, learned via TM, which is received when you defeat Brock. And I'd suggest using Rock Tomb until then, which is a TM found in Union Cave. Next up is Mega Horn, learned at level 55, and is the premise stab bug move on this set. It's learned really later on though, when you're taking on the leaders in Kanto. So before then, you won't have a bug type move. So focusing in on what Heracross can do with its fighting stab is the best plan of action. Finally, we've got Night Slash on this set, which can be hard scaled back on in Blackthorn before you take on Claire. Now with these moves, Heracross will be able to do well against Whitney's entire team, Jasmine's entire team, Price's Dugong and Piloswine, Claire's Gyarados, Brock's entire team, Misty's Lapras and Starmie, Lieutenant Surge's Magneton, Erica's entire team except for Victory Bell, Janine's entire team except for Weezing, Sabrina's entire team, but be careful, Blaine's entire team, but watch out again, Blue's entire team except for Machamp, Silver's entire team, Archer's Houndour and Houndoom, Will's entire team, Koga's Ariados, Venomoth and Crobat, Bruno's Onix, Karen's entire team except for Vileplume, Lance's entire team thanks to that trusty Rock-type move, and finally Red's Lapras, Snorlax, and Charizard. Wow. Talk about some true domination out of this thing. Heracross just owns so many important battles, and the one that I got my eyes on is definitely that matchup with Lance. Even if you're using Rock Tomb at that point, it's got a real chance to be ridiculously dominant. So let's talk about domination for a second. The Johto region definitely dominates one thing, and that's your money. It's not super easy to get your hands on money in this game, especially if you just use Johto. So I'm going to preface this next Pokemon on the team by letting you know there are multiple ways to get it. I finally decided to include Dragonite on this team, as I wanted something with Dragon-type moves to be able to push through Claire's Kingdra as well as challenge Lance a bit better. I honestly wanted to give Dragonite a run this time around to see how it would initially do. Dratini can either be bought from the Goldenrod Game Corner for 2100 coins, or you can capture one through a little bit of a complicated process in the Johto Safari Zone. If you use the Good Rod on the water side in the swamp area of the Safari Zone, you have a chance of fishing up Dratini. So either you can get your hands on one as early as your battle with Whitney, or as late as your battle with Jasmine. I'm going to operate under the assumption that Dratini is gotten in Goldenrod, but that's not where it all ends. Two moves on this set, as you'll see momentarily, are TMs that are bought from the Goldenrod Game Corner as well, needing 20,000 coins to get them both. All I can say is, have fun with Voltorb Flip. Real quick before I get into the moves, you more than likely won't have Dragonite until after the battle with Lance, but that's fine. Dragonair will be more than good enough to help with that battle. The moveset Dragonite has is Draco Meteor, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower. Draco Meteor can be learned from the move tutor in Blackthorn, and it'll be useful for when you face off with Claire as a quick and easy way for Dragonair to defeat Kingdra. When you defeat her though, you'll get the next move in this set, Dragon Pulse, which thankfully won't reduce Dragonite's special attack when used. I decided to keep them both on the set though, as Draco Meteor is just a great powerful option that can come in clutch at times, while Dragon Pulse works as a more consistent option. Thunderbolt and Flamethrower are the two moves I referenced earlier that you get from the Game Corner in Goldenrod. They're going to be be expensive options. And when we get into what Dragonite does well against, I'm going to count them as if they were gotten before facing Whitney. Both moves are very strong and act as having great coverage for this set. They're just not the easiest things to get your hands on without working for them in that game corner. Alright, so with these moves, Dragonite will be able to do well against Chuck's Poliwrath, Jasmine's entire team, Price's Piloswine and Dugong, Claire's entire team, Brock's Amistar and Kabutops, Misty's entire team except for Quagsire, also watch out for Lapras, Lieutenant Surge's Magneton, Erica's entire team, Jasmine's entire team except for Weezing, Blue's Exeggutor, Gyarados and Pidgeot, Silver's Sneasel, Golbat, Magneton and Meganium, Will's entire team, Koga's entire team except for Mug, Karen's Vileplume and Murkrow, Lance's entire team, and finally Red's Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. So a lot of work needs to be put in so that you can get a Dragonite. But it's definitely worth it when you take a look at all the late game domination you get out of it. I mean, you will just thrash around red starters so easily, and that's really awesome to see. Alright, so next on this team, we've got another Pokemon you'll need to get from out of the Safari Zone. We're talking Mr. Mime, an option I found more fit this time around over Espeon, and one that can make use of a wonderful 100 base special attack and 120 special defense, along with 90 base speed. Now, the thing about Mr. Mime is that it just doesn't have a lot of bulk with only having base 40 HP. But that shouldn't matter too much, as it'll be able to hit so hard and fast in its designated role that it won't have a chance to get knocked out. You can find Mr. Mime in the forest area of the Safari Zone, so around the time when you face Jasmine. You'll lose out on having it for the Battle of Chuck, but as we went over earlier with Crobat, you'll still have something for fighting types. Really, my true motivations for including Mr. Mime are for Pokemon like Weezing and Gengar, poison types that have Levitate. Like I mentioned, Mr. Mime is definitely a little situational, but with a purpose. Alright, we've got Psychic, Magical Leaf, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast. Mr. Mime learns Psychic via level up at 39, which is great considering how late on into things you get the TM for Psychic. Magical Leaf is another move that needs to be heart scaled back on, so you'll need another one. But man, is it worth it to finally have a Grass-type move somewhere on this set. Next up is Shadow Ball, which is a TM obtained from defeating Morty. And lastly, we have Focus Blast. You can buy Focus Blast at the Goldenrod department store for a relatively fair price. Alright, with these moves, Mr. Mime will be able to do well against Jasmine's entire team, Price's Dugong and Piloswine, Brock's entire team, Misty's entire team, Erica's Victory Bell, Janine's entire team, Blue's Exeggutor, Rhydon and Machamp, Silver's entire team except for Meganium, Archer's entire team, Will's entire team, Koga's entire team except for Fortress, Bruno's entire team, Karen's entire team except for Murkrow, and finally Red's Lapras, Snorlax, Venusaur, and Blastoise. I'm sure you guys noticed the absolute domination of Mr. Mime against Elite Four, and I'd be lying if I said that didn't play a part in me deciding to give this guy a shot on the team. A good Psychic Pokemon can take you a long way in a playthrough, no doubt. So the last spot on this team is a bit of a filler one, and as I usually like to do, it is a normal type. I tried to reach into Pokemon I haven't used before in this sort of spot, and I settled upon Ambipom. It's very easy to get, as you just need to headbutt trees in Azalea Town, just like you do to get Heracross. Eventually, you can find an Apom in there as well. Once you have Apom, you just use it until you get double hit. Use it a little bit more, and bam, you've got an Ambipom. It's honestly as simple as that. So around level 33 or 34, you should be evolving. And once Apom does, it'll become an Ambipom with 100 base attack and 115 base speed, both of which are just top notch and will help the team without a doubt. Now, let's see the moves it is bringing to the table. This final moveset is headlined by Strength and Returned, and followed by Shadow Claw and Iron Tail. Strength is an HM you need at certain points in your journey, so I figured it'd be a good stab move to throw on. You get Strength on Route 42 from a hiker running out of Mount Mortar. The next move, Return, is perfect stab for Ambipom, as more than likely, you'll be showing it tons of love. I mean, look at how fun this thing is. There's no way you won't be using it all the time. If your game is set to reflect that it is Sunday, you just need to go up to the top of the Goldenrod department store and talk to a woman while showing your Pokemon with high friendship. And then after that, she'll give you the TM. The next move up is Shadow Claw. That's so Ambipom can hit ghost types, which you can also find on Route 42, where you get Strength. Finally, there is Iron Tail, and that is the TM you win from defeating Jasmine. So with these moves, Ambipom will attempt to do all against Morty's entire team, Price's Piloswine, Brock's Graveler, Rhyhorn and Onix, Misty's Starmie, Sabrina's entire team, Blue's Exeggutor and Rhydon, Silver's Sneasel, Kadabra and Haunter, Will's entire team, Bruno's Onix, Karen's Gengar, and finally Lance's Aerodactyl. So Ambipom is definitely going to be great for getting off strong neutral damage with its stab attacks, but puts in some work against certain Pokemon with those other coverage moves it has. It is definitely a great filler Pokemon for this team. Alright, that's going to do it for this alternate starter best team. I know you guys have been asking for this one for quite some time, so I'm happy I can finally get it out for you. I'll be doing Meganium at some point down the line too. Anyways, let me know down below what you guys thought about this team, and let me know any new additions you guys would make to it. I'll be sure to check out what you have to say. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon to Fire Emblem to Zelda and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns, so if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further and gain cool perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there, and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.